Hey guys, so today we're going to take a look at how we can add an extra drive to a mirrored VDev in TrueNAS. So maybe when you created the pool or the VDev itself, you were drive poor and you only had one drive available and you needed to create the pool that way. But maybe you'd always intended to make sure that you had some redundancy by mirroring those drives. So we're going to take a look here at how you can add extra drives to that VDev and create that mirror. So we're just going to flip over here so that we're on the main screen for our TrueNAS installation. And then on the left-hand side, we're going to hit the storage button, and then we're going to hit the pools button. So I know here in my media pool that I've only got one drive attached to the pool itself, but that's problematic for me because if that drive fails, then suddenly all of my media has gone with it. And I'd like to make sure that that doesn't happen. So I can hit the gear icon here on the right-hand side. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to hit the status button here, and I can see that I've got this one drive. It's online and healthy now at the moment, but I want to make sure that that always stays the case and I don't suddenly lose data when it fails. So on the three dots menu on the right hand side, I can just hit that and then hit the extend button. And then in the pop-up window that appears, in the drop-down menu, I'm going to be able to select the drive that I want. So I'm just going to pick any one of these 3 terabyte drives, which matches the existing drive in the VDev. I'm just going to hit the extend button here as well. So the important thing to know here is that you always need to have a size, be adding a drive that's at minimum the size of the existing drive. Ideally, all of your drives would be exactly the same size, but it is okay to also go kind of higher, but you can never go lower. We're just going to hit that close there because we can see the VDev is successfully created. And what's been going to start happening now is TrueNAS is going to do a thing called resilvering. So resilvering basically is it started to copy the data on the existing drive into the new drive that I've just added. Otherwise, if it didn't do that, well, then I would still be missing all of my data if the original drive fails. So that can take some time. TrueNAS does, depending on the size of your disk and the speed of the disk itself. These are spinning disk drives. They're 3 terabyte spinning disk drives. So there's the initial drive is also almost quite full, so there's a lot of data for it to copy across. And we can see that TrueNAS is going to do some estimates here on the top left-hand side. And we can see that its best estimate now, at the start, I think it was like 500 days, but it's kind of settled down a little bit now, and it's decided that it's going to take about 7 hours to do that resilvering. So unfortunately, during that 7-hour period, I'm still at risk. If my initial drive fails, then I'm going to have a serious problem. And in fact, I've increased the strain on the disk and increased the likelihood that it might fail by adding this extra drive. But overall, we're going to end up with a lot more redundancy. So, that's a risk that we're willing to take. However, if you're uncertain about your drives or you think that the drive might be failing, really great step before doing this is to maybe back up your data on an existing external media or another drive or storage device. So I'm going to leave that here, and we're going to come back and we're going to take a look at it whenever the resilvering is finished. We're going to take a look at how we would be able to do that. Through the magic of editing, we don't have to wait several hours for the resilver to finish. I'm able to show you now what the status of that was. So I'm here the next day. The resilvering continued well into the night because it was several terabytes worth of data. And I just want to check and see how it got on today. So now that I've logged back into the main page for my TrueNAS installation, I can hit the storage button on the left-hand side and then pools. And we had added the device to the media pool, so I can tell already that the device or the pool itself is healthy because it's labeled as online. There's a nice green check mark here indicating that there's no problems. It's not going through any resilvering or anything like that. And then on the gear icon on the right hand side, I can just hit the status button, and I can see here that the resilvering status is finished and that the 2 drives in the pool are online and healthy. I've got a hot spare that I've added here in another video as well. So the other thing that we can do to check and get a little bit more details on the status of the pools and the resilvering, we can even find out when it was done, is if we hit the shell button on the left-hand side here, we get brought into the command line for TrueNAS itself, and we're just able to type in zpool status, and that's going to throw us a bunch of information about our various pools. So we can see the boot pool and my other pool there as well. But if I scroll up, I'll see the media pool listed here, and I can see that that resilvered almost 2 terabytes. It took 6 hours and nearly 5 minutes, and it completed with no errors at 20 past 2 in the morning this morning. So that's it, guys. That's perfect. I'm able to confidently say that my pool is up running and that there are no errors whatsoever. So at this stage, I'm just going to go and ask you again to do the YouTube dance. So that's liking, commenting, and subscribing. That really helps out the channel, and let me know if there's anything that we can do in TrueNAS or any other system to make a video about that in the future. You can see some of my other videos in the subscription button in the dialog box here for YouTube, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.